I'd like to call to order the Westford Conservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. This meeting is being broadcast live by Westford Cable Access TV and recorded for playback online. By participating in this meeting, you are consenting to your audio and likeness being used for this purpose. Thank you.
Thank you.
On our agenda, the first item for 7 p.m. is open forum. Do any members of the commission have something for open forum? Matt, do you have anything?
No.
Okay. Do any members of the audience have something for open forum? Okay. The next 7 p.m. agenda item is a continuation of a public hearing for Harnett, 17 Beatrice Road.
Good evening, Tom Harnett. I came here last month to propose tearing down a dilapidated old shed that is in the buffer zone of a stream that feeds to Long Sockford Pond. This was the original, this is the new one. The commission sent me away with some homework, have discussions with the building department and the health department, and to come up with a drawing that would show the size of the driveway that I'm interested in paving over. So I had those discussions. Based on that, the original design extended the shed out by 2 feet, and based on discussions from the health department, I've talked to the shed vendor, and they are going to be able to move that inside to the point where so we had that, the sides, the east and the west sides here extended out a couple of feet, and the shed vendor said that he will find a way to make that work within the existing footprint on the left and right, and the only place we'll need to extend it a couple of feet is out the back. So that was due to the concern about the tight tank lid which was here, which was a little too close to the extension that we had put in. So we're going to work within the existing footprint of the building on the left and right side.
Matt, was there a second picture for us to look at?
Yes, I didn't know
This
if there
was,
were if there were any questions from the commission.
Yeah.
Kind of try to do one thing at a time.
Okay.
But,
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's better.
This is the GIS satellite picture of the property. As you can see, there's a stone driveway there existing, and we just like to pave that over so that I can snow blow it in the winter without showering rocks with everybody in the neighborhoods. So that's a representation of what we have to do.
Okay.
No question.
No questions?
and so this, kind of the using the GIS shows the existing extent. It was a little bit larger than what was kind of on that the plan from 10 years ago that was kind of originally shown. So we wanted to make sure that, again, as we're trying to say that this is if the commission does want to find this as to be a minor activity, as they're paving an existing pervious area, wanted to show kind of the actual extent and not kind of obfuscate the
one
kind
that
of
was-
what the ask is.
These are plans for the record, so, I mean, we should indicate that this area to be paved. There's no note about
Yeah, I can make note on that, and again, following up, after it's done, my intent is to, go out with the tape measure and pull, 35 by 30-ish by 35-ish by 20-ish, and okay, yep,
As
that's,
long as we haven't identified, that it's currently gravel, it's gonna be paved.
Yep.
And the other location is, here's the shape, here's the footprint of the building.
And that could also, assuming we do a conditional negative, all those details could be documented in the conditions?
yes.
Which is a good
So what
thing.
is the distance from that driveway to the resource?
I mean, it's probably 45 feet. Again, it's down kind of,
That sounds about right, it's about 45 feet.
yeah, the near, it's off well,
The only reason I say that is because, a lot of times we have to deal with this when it comes to patios or what have you. We always try to find some sort of pervious surface and not an impervious surface. I understand the need for wanting to try to have a surface that's maintainable, I'm just wondering if that can happen in a pervious nature instead of having to pave it and have it be impervious. Or you know,
It's, again,
I'm not
the
saying,
area
I
of-
mean, some people use cobbles or pavers or other things in their driveways.
Yeah.
And when I think about that, I think, well, that's pervious and not impervious. Here we're, you know, making this area impervious and, you know, there's a fair bit of it on the site.
I mean,
So
if with
I
the
just
cr-
raised
the-
the
the-
question.
I mean, the crushed stone, kind of compacted crushed stone seems to probably acts more like an existing impervious as, you know, I don't know how much infiltration you're getting, you know, it's not a natural, you know, a natural surface, it's not, you know, with it being compacted, I think it ends up
Well, if you
being,
want to make the argument that it's acting in an impervious fashion right now, then it's just. But if it was gravel or something that was acting in a pervious nature, then we'd probably want to see what we could do to make it, keep it pervious.
yeah, I would say that it is it is impervious, and it is acting in an impervious nature currently.
And we need to make that statement somewhere when we allow the,
Yep.
the,
Can put
you
in
know,
the- put
it to
in the-
be.
In the project description on the, either page 2 or 3 of the determination, we can make note that, you know, the compacted crushed stone, you know.
That we thought about it,
Mhm.
and, you know, this is, you know, the conclusion we came to.
Are there any comments or questions on this project from members of the audience? Okay. Can I have a motion for a conditional negative determination? So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So Matt will be in touch with the paperwork.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Good luck with your project.
Yeah. So moving on to our 7:05 PM agenda item, the public hearing for Mass Audubon Society, Carlisle Road.
Under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Westford's non-zoning wetlands bylaw, Chapter 171, the Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, at 7:05 PM in Meeting Room 201 at Town Hall, 55 Main Street, to consider the request for determination of applicability application of Mass Audubon Society for the removal of 21 dead and dying trees within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands and an unnumbered Carlisle Road parcel between numbers 109 and 119, Assessors Map 7, Parcel 4, Lot 0.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chuck Delaney with Mass Audubon. I'm a regional property manager for them. So this parcel falls within my responsibilities. And I think as many of you are probably aware that back in March, there was an unfortunate incident where a tree came down that was on Mass Audubon property, and it reached the road and hit a vehicle, injuring 2 people inside. I'm not sure how badly or how they recovered, but that really gave us an awakening to start monitoring hazardous trees that can reach roadways or houses, you know, in different areas. All around the state, we're doing that right now. So we hired Marquee Tree Service, a tree company from Billerica. And they came out and they identified those 21 trees that they considered to be hazardous that could reach the road. So we're looking for permission. And first of all, I have to recognize Chris Karpinski, who many of you know, for doing a ton of the legwork for me, you know, because he's right there and he's very concerned. And
We're neighbors.
we're neighbors, but we never see each other.
Best kind of neighbors.
True. So yeah, that's basically it.
So what's the criteria for taking down the tree? That it could possibly reach the road?
Reach the road. So some of them can reach the road, the whole tree. You know, they're within some of them.
So if you have a
8
tree 100 feet, let's say you have an 80-foot tree,
Right.
and it's like 80 feet from the road, you would take that tree down?
I have to clarify that it's also dead.
Right.
Or-
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
the
say,
process
I
of
mean,
dying.
yeah,
So, yeah, it-
that wouldn't, that's not,
Other criteria, sure.
Yeah.
Right, correct, yeah. And I believe that they would not take the whole tree down if it's not a situation like that. They would take down like 20 or 40 feet and leave a stump for nature, for birds and bugs.
Jeff,
The plan that we have was, I think, one that Chris had used for his driveway approach. And it was kind of sketched in where these trees are, but it doesn't indicate exactly where the property lines are. And I'm wondering if the oval that was used to identify the location of the 21 trees is all Audubon property, or if it does extend to the, I'll butcher their names, Ganiatsos and Farrers, the neighbors that own property on north and south of there.
The trees are completely on Mass Audubon's property. That's just as you said, I repurposed a prior drawing that, because I thought that the key thing to check out is where those wetland flags were delineated.
It is, but you also don't want to go off Audubon property.
Correct. They're all on Audubon's property. Yep.
Yeah.
Are they all located in one spot, or are they scattered evenly across the whole?
They're pretty much scattered evenly across that that oval there.
Yeah, and I was out this afternoon, and unfortunately, the photos don't give before, as the photos are before leaf out, you can't tell what's a healthy deciduous tree with no leaves and a dead pine tree with, although you can see kind of the scraggly pines that don't really have any
life? to it?
upper crown, and I certainly I lost count which ones I had counted which ones, but there were as identified by the orange markings, paint markings. They're certainly over 15, and again, in deferring to the arborist's letter about kind of identifying which ones are dead and posing a hazard. And kind of the photos do provide at least a kind of a glimpse of the deciduous trees in proximity to it. And one thing I noted this afternoon while I was out was this entire, kind of, so as shown on the kind of the far side of the tow truck, you can start to see some of the pines with missing bark. That the understory grew in immensely. The understory that kind of seasonally comes in, and it certainly is well established underneath the areas to be removed.
Jim?
Are there any areas, Matt, where the removal of these 21 trees would, where there's a tight cluster, where there'd be an area with nothing if the trees were cut?
No, like I said, there's
Thinking about whether we need any plantings or not.
No, I was quite surprised and encouraged of, noticed a couple, some maple saplings, some other, oaks, kind of populating the understory.
So they get to come up.
So, I don't think, I feel like if we did require plantings, we'd have to be clearing more area for them to A, be planted, and B, they're going to be outcompeted by, existing native vegetation.
Thank you.
The saplings that you saw coming up are probably of the age of saplings we want to be planted.
If not, that and there's some more mature kind of 10, 12 feet tall,
Okay.
12, 15 foot tall kind of understory. It's a healthy kind of assemblage of ages, especially along the road, because you do get some diversity and some sunlight from the road itself.
So planting saplings would not be getting a jump start. Nature's already taken a jump start.
I think so.
Sounds
I
pretty
think,
good.
yeah.
Okay. Did you have anything else you wanted to mention?
No.
Any comments or questions from members of the audience?
Yeah.
Okay. If you'd come up to the mic and let us know who you are.
Lauren Harnett. In the descriptions on there, it sounded like the trees being removed were going to be removed to the stump along the road. Is that true?
Along the roadside, I believe so, yes.
That's
All
what
the way
that,
to the
Further
stump
in,
instead
they'll
of.
be left.
that was the arborist's recommendation
Yeah.
in their report.
To me, 21 just seems a little excessive.
Can you go to
Unless they fall under
the red
the
oval?
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm tired of
I've
people
had-
being dead at the bottom of my driveway.
I've had
and
trees
leaves.
fall all over the
Yeah.
place. I mean, it is true the road is a little scary, but that's what trees trees fall and break things. And along the utility line, they're weakened from cutting for the utility lines. So like, sure, but why cut those all the way down to the stump? Why not leave some for
To grow again.
With the-
like a nursery tree?
Well, what I'm, and I like your question. What I was thinking is if you can go to the second page of the plan where it shows the outline, and I'm sorry, I forget.
Chuck. Yeah.
If you can, is in this area, you had mentioned something about some trees being left at a height.
Correct.
Can you use the pointer to kind of indicate
Yeah.
in what area you'd leave them at a higher and
It
where you might
depends.
take them down to closer to grade?
I believe it depends, according to the arborist, on the height of the stump itself.
Okay.
Would that still be able to reach the roadside or
Okay.
into the road? They would cut it to a height where it would not reach into the road.
So the only thing that would be cut close to grade would be if something was within 5 or 10 feet of the road.
Close to the road's edge.
Yes, where it would reach out, where even that standing butt log.
If it
could-
tipped over,
Could
'cause
tip over
If the
afterwards.
roots were completely rotted
Correct,
out
rotted
and
out.
it tipped from the ground, you're saying,
Right.
those are the ones where you wouldn't
They
want to
would be
get into the
down,
road.
yeah, to a stump size.
All I know is driving through there, it looks like every tree is painted red. Now I'm driving, so it,
Yeah.
but it looks like a lot of trees.
Property is.
It is a lot of trees, I agree.
But
And-
the alternative is not good.
Well,
Interesting thing, when I printed out this material to submit the printing companies, the woman there said, "Oh, my daughter missed this by 3 minutes. I'm so glad you're taking care of this. She's still scared to drive through here." So I just would like to not see blood at the bottom of my driveway anymore. It was sad to see the two people down there back in March. The husband was so stunned, and the wife's side of the car I couldn't even see. And just leave those trees there that are dead and ready to fall over just seems criminal in my mind.
It's not an arbitrary decision, so.
no. And Matt, you're saying that there's enough stuff already growing that that area should fill in fairly
Yes.
well?
It
Okay,
certainly won't be clear cut by any means.
no.
Exactly.
Because that was, having driven that road myself and seeing how much people exceed the speed limit, my one concern had been, if you really took out a lot of those trunks, is it kind of visually widens it, and does that contribute to even greater speed? And it sounds like that's not necessarily gonna, you're not cutting everything down to the ground, and we've got a lot of stuff growing in that's leafing out. So we'll still have that slightly visual narrowing.
That visual buffer.
Of the corridor, yeah, okay.
And I think the speed issue is, there's no posted speed signs anywhere within miles of this section. So you could go a mile in either direction and there's not a single speed sign. So I've asked for it, I've been there 25 years, you know what I'm like, and so I've asked a number of times. I've asked for the folks to partition themselves at the bottom to enforce the speed, but hasn't happened, so.
I live on Depot Street,
You know it well.
I know it well.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there are no other comments or questions, this is gonna be a conditional negative?
I don't have any, I guess I can condition, based upon the arborist's recommendation, stumps shall be left for some of the trees as appropriate. So
Recommended.
yeah, recommended, and to not.
Yeah, but I'd like to make sure that gets followed through, so that somewhere have that articulated.
Yep, can certainly include that as a condition.
Okay.
Can't put it back once it's cut.
Well, but, so actually, if Marquis is going to do it, where are they thinking about how busy this roadway is? Where are they gonna stage the equipment to be taking these trees out?
They would definitely have a police detail.
Right.
Okay,
They would have to have a crane.
yeah,
They're actually the second tree company to look at it. The first tree company was too intimidated by the job.
Right.
okay,
So, they did the work across the street from me, so they have familiarity with the site 2 years ago.
okay. My only concern is if we had heavy equipment in there around the trees being taken down, does that
No.
start to?
Yeah, no, I think everything would be access from the road.
Okay.
You can't get in there, it's too soft and
Right.
it falls off quickly, so
Okay.
it would all be done from the
So
road.
one other thought, in the past, when we've done tree work, in such close proximity to wetlands, you know, a lot of times we'll leave it, a lot of the tree there for, you know, enhanced habitat. You know, we did that at like, the first West Tech Park, is that east or west?
The one over by
South
towards
Chelmsford
Kimball's?
Road?
Oh, no, that's east.
That's east, yeah. And we did that when there was some tree work that needed to be done in proximity to the resource area. I didn't know if there were opportunities to leave some of that, you know, parts of logs or what have you.
With the understory as kind of established as it is, I think leaving it's going to cause more impact to the.
What's already there.
Yeah, to the,
Okay,
yeah. No, it's
okay.
a good point. I hadn't considered that, but I think I think leaving it would, you know, be crushing existing native vegetation.
But something for us to consider in the future, because we've done that in the past.
Well, and I was thinking a question for Chuck, because the other thing too is when you leave, especially if you've got a lot of branches and stuff like that, is sometimes you set yourself up for an environment where invasives can kind of take root and you're not aware of them until they've gotten away from you. So, you know, that's,
Well, that's happening everywhere with the
Yeah, but it
trees
just
close to the
is-
road. The invasives have been taken over,
I'm-
so it's a given.
Yeah,
I'm
but
fighting
it-
them hard. I say mugwort in the middle of the night because I'm so mad at it. And there's Japanese knotweed there too that I'm taking
well,
out.
and that's where, you know, Mass Audubon is the property owner, they're concerned with things like that. So that would be, you know.
Correct, yeah.
You know, but yes, you're right, it's something to
Yeah,
consider
it is.
when we're taking trees down where they can, you know, some are part. can
Well,
be
we look
left.
at like, you know, butt logs as providing enhanced habitat.
Yeah,
You know, if there are opportunities to lay down, because that provides habitat, you know, for salamanders and other things that use decaying wood and, you know. Always like
There's
to
a fair
provide
amount
habitat.
from the pine that did come down. There's a fair amount presently existing on the side. Presently.
Just want to keep a diverse habitat.
And a lot of the tops of those other trees that are dead, after this event in March, the wind was blowing and they were coming down the road, so it's been showering branches and limbs in the vicinity of
That's
that
Westford.
last number of months.
can I have a motion to issue a conditional negative determination?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for all your
very
help. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're moving on to our 7:10 PM agenda item, which is interviewing candidates for an open position on the commission. And what we would do is we would ask both applicants to go in the small conference room next, because we will have one applicant in here at a time for the interviews.
Stay, we'll just close the door.
Okay, so one of the things that we haven't done yet, and this is our usual practice, is we have we've come up with a list of questions that we ask both applicants. And among the members of the commission, we decide who's going to ask each question. So everybody's involved. Eric, as the most senior member, is there a question you'd like to ask? Be the one to ask.
I'll ask the very first one, you know,
Okay,
you know,
and Marilyn?
Do we have a list of the questions?
Oh,
I can print it out. Yes.
I didn't print for every, yeah,
Thank you.
okay, sorry about that. Marilyn, was
We're
there,
gonna do all of the questions?
we're gonna do all the
All right, I'll
questions.
just take the one after Eric.
Okay,
yeah, we can take them right down the line
Yeah,
that
we
way
can just go
then.
around.
well, yeah, but,
Unless he wants to opt
Right,
out
is he
for a
married or
personal
something?
question other than the one that
Do you-
would fall in
Is there a
line.
specific question you, I don't think any of us.
okay, so you're happy to take the next question, or you have your own questions?
Right, I have my own.
Okay, so you have new questions?
Yep.
We
Okay,
ask the old ones.
And we just have to ask both.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll do
why
it
don't
in
we
the
ask-
same.
why don't
okay,
we
so
ask
you
the ones
only
you
want to
got,
ask
and
your
then go ahead.
questions?
Yep.
Okay, Ann, you want to take the next question?
I'm sorry, how does
Okay, so have, the third question. About the Wetlands Protection Act?
We can prompt you as well.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just
You
gonna
just
go
go around in
down.
a circle, doesn't, you know.
And then, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, we've got more questions, we'll just
Why
go
don't we
around
just go
again.
around and-
Yeah, it'll work.
It'll work.
You can prompt us if we get stuck reading.
Okay. So are you ready?
It's not as
Okay.
bad as it sounds.
It's not as bad as
Really not.
We've all been through it where you're sitting.
Lauren, it's a pleasure to have you here this evening. We don't often get an opportunity to interview, so. But we do have these questions, and we're, very happy that you're interested in the commission, and glad that you're taking this opportunity with us. And I'll start off with the first question. First question, give a brief background of yourself and why you'd like to be on the commission.
All right. I've always been interested in nature. As a kid, went tent camping with my parents, and we did hikes. My dad always had the ID books for birds and trees and everything. And when I went to college, I was between environmental science and photography, and I went photography. But sometimes wished I'd gone the other way, but it's all good. And I've been in Westford for 2 years, and I really like the town, and I've been wanting to get more involved in the town and protect, and the commission protects the natural resources, and I thought it's a good opportunity to give back to the town and protect something that I think makes the town great and that I enjoy.
So you have some environmental background.
I did minor in environmental science in college, and then I read books and I
That's
talk to
great.
the plants in my yard. So
Some folks here don't have any environmental background, so.
Are your parents still here?
my parents live on Cape Cod.
Live where?
Cape Cod.
Cape Cod.
We're on the Cape.
Did you bring a map?
No, but I know it.
It's I brought
I'm a
mine. I
native.
brought mine. Yeah, they're in East Hampton.
Yeah, no, okay. Chatham.
Okay, well,
No,
the
I
second
guess-
one is, are you focused on details of certain sections of the town, or are you looking at the whole picture of Westford?
I think both. I think you gotta look at the bigger picture, but it's the details that really give a full understanding of the bigger picture. So you kind of you can't just look at one. You gotta look at both.
Jim?
Two questions, both related to design drawings that we receive when people file notice of intent. First, how comfortable are you reading design drawings or survey drawings? And second, when you do review the drawings, what are you looking for?
So there is a lot on the survey drawings. It's kind of like flight maps when you get a pilot's license and you look at the map and you're like, what? But you learn the things that you're looking at. So currently there's a lot to learn from those maps, and I don't necessarily know everything I'm looking at, but I like the septic ones that show where the wetland marker buffers are. But I also like that mass mapper?
Mass mapper.
Mass mapper. And then you so when you have the drawing, you see what their thing is, and then you have the mass mapper that has the overall picture of it, and then you have all those little layers that you can put over it, and then you can put wetland things or stuff,
The data layers, yeah.
data layers on it. And then looking at both together helps kind of give a better understanding of what I'm looking at on the maps that they provide until I learn what everything means in them.
All right, thank you.
Did I answer all that question?
I can't hear you, Ann.
Oh, no, I didn't know if she was done. I was behind more thing. Anyway, what can you tell us about the Wetlands Protection Act or the local wetlands bylaw?
Well, the Wetlands Protection Act is really long, so I don't know a lot of it yet, but if I get on the commission, I plan to make it my duty to learn a lot more of it. But I do know It created the buffer zones, the 50 and 100-foot buffer zones, and managing the resources within those, and that the 50-foot buffer zone is slightly more important than the 100-foot buffer zone in mitigating impacts to the resource. But if I get on the commission, I will work to make it, learn a lot more of what it is that's in the WPA and the local bylaws.
Okay.
That we all know. The next one.
Yeah, I have to ask it anyway. Have you had an opportunity to watch or attend any of our meetings?
I have, yes I have. I've been to a few meetings, and I've watched some of the other ones on YouTube, Cat.
Cable.
Yep. Over to you, Eric.
Oh, it is. It's interesting, Jim. You asked a question that I had written down here to ask. So my question to you, Lauren, is how would you try to balance the interest of property owners and their rights to do what they want on their property with the restrictions on it, with the local Wetlands Protection Act and the local wetlands bylaw?
Well, first I would try to explain what the WPA and the local bylaws are attempting to protect in their plans if they go into those buffer zones, and then after that try and if the project needs to be modified to fit into the WPA, have them modify it so that they don't have to worry about it in the buffer zone. And if it can't be modified to reduce what's going into the buffer zones, to work with them and mitigation and hope that they're willing to do the mitigation necessary to protect the resources.
Thank you.
Good answer. In your experience, what's the most valuable attribute in working with people to help bring groups to agreement?
I think to clearly explain your position and why you feel that way, and then to listen to what their position is and why they feel that way, and to, if it's not the same position, to try and come to a agreement.
I already asked mine too. Go ahead, Ann.
Okay.
Most of the commissioners have taken training courses from Massachusetts Conservation Commissioners group. And are you willing to participate in some of these courses?
I have, and I've looked online, and they seem to be, at least the ones I saw, were in the evenings or weekends, so yeah, it's doable and would be helpful, so yes.
Okay. Do you have the ability to give the type of time it takes to be a commission member?
I believe so, so I hope
Yeah,
so.
that it's, yeah, 2 meetings a week, you get the meeting packets.
2 meetings a month.
2 meetings a month,
Yeah,
you
we-
get the, yeah, you get the
Just
meeting
feels like
packet to
2 meetings a
review.
week.
Occasionally, we do the site visits.
Yeah, the only thing is every once in a while, I do work nights or weekends, like it does get weird, so rarely I might have a conflict with work, but it's rare.
Yeah, and I think, you know,
It's true of everybody.
that's true of everybody. One thing to make you aware of is because of the Mullins Act, if you happen to miss a meeting and there's a session of a public hearing, you can watch it on cable access TV and then sign a form that says, I watched what I missed. But if I understand correctly, if for some reason you missed 2,
Yes, if you miss 2, you're unable to vote. If you miss 1 and Mullen saying that you've watched and, you know, you understand what has happened previously, you're able to. And that's kind of, that's a process that I think is generally accepted, although sometimes I see state attorney or state council, statewide attorneys sometimes say that it's not pertinent to the Wetlands Protection Act, but I think it's better safe than sorry to follow it.
and if you happen to have, you know, and this missing meetings would only be for for example, a large project that had multiple sessions of the public meeting, but not being able to vote if you miss 2 of the meeting sessions, you can still participate asking questions and stuff like that. So it's, you're not out of it that much.
Yeah, you just have to recuse yourself from voting.
Right.
Yeah, so.
And that's happened to each of us at some time.
And my last one.
I'll do the last one. The Conservation Commission has active representation in other town boards, such as the Community Preservation Committee, Agricultural Commission, and Open Space and Recreation Plan Committee. Would you, Lauren, have the ability to take, from time to time, any of this additional responsibility on? So would you be able to be the commission's representative for the Community Preservation Committee or the Agricultural Commission from time to time?
Yeah, if it's from time to time. If it was every time they met, that might be a little
Well, it's-
challenging.
No committee meets.
And this was actually my question. So it's, for example, with the Agricultural Commission, we don't actually have a member on there, but we have a liaison, because where the community garden is on commission property, there's a lot of coordination that goes on. And it's just, is, for example, Noelle, who was formerly on this board, she was our liaison. And so when she comes off, we look to have another liaison. And it's just this might not be something that comes up for a couple of years, but it's just to make you aware of what may be asked of members of the commission from time to time.
And I sit on CPA, but I have for many years, probably as long as I've done this one.
Yeah.
I enjoy that as well, but it does take an additional piece of your time.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
So it's other stuff besides sitting here in the meeting.
Yeah,
So we want people to know what they're getting into.
yeah. I mean, I think I'd be able to, but
Okay.
it depends
Well, and-
how much time it draws.
And we can't, none of us can always do it every time, so, but just to keep you aware.
Yes.
Do you have any questions for us, other than the ones you sent Matt?
Yeah, it isn't a lot.
He shared with us.
No.
Okay.
So we'll make a recommendation to the selectmen, and
I mean,
you want to
that's
explain that process?
Oh, yeah, well, that is actually, when, how,
Well, we're gonna have
So
a second.
after the next interview, the commission has a discussion of the potential recommendation to the select board. That's kind of the next step for the commission kind of to vote. I would draft a memo to the select board on behalf of the chair and the commission. That would go most likely to their August 12th meeting. And I know the select board is finalizing their own policy for how they appoint and review volunteer activity forms that get submitted, so it's not, I think that the next step would be, provide the recommendation to the select board, right, and then I don't know.
They usually, put it on- if they have room, they'll put it on their agenda.
But, and I guess one of the questions, because they're taking a look at their process at this point, would they potentially be asking the applicants as well to come to their meeting?
I think so, but I haven't fully memorized the policy. But that's, I can certainly clarify that with the town
24 years ago,
manager.
I sat and listened to them debate for myself, so
Yeah.
you can go.
So, yeah, I can
But
certainly.
yes, if you're concerned about a work conflict, that, let us know, and we will work with that.
Yeah, if
But if I
recommended.
knew if you were being recommended, I would go to
Yeah.
that meeting. I would
Oh, for
certainly
sure.
watch
Because
it.
yeah, but
the select board might have questions for you as well.
Yeah.
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 that is another question though I had, are there term limits?
No,
No.
that's why I'm here.
Well, it's a 3-year term, and then when your term is up, Well, actually, you'll be filling an unexpired term. When that unexpired term ends at the end of June 1 year, the question comes to you, would you like to be reappointed? And then
And it does go back to this.
Jim?
select board.
The select board just is in the process of implementing a new policy for filling positions. Even if a person's, let's say somebody's already been on the commission for 3 years and their seat is opening up and they're interested in being reappointed, the select board fully intends to have us advertise for that position, accept invitations, do interviews, make recommendations, and then the select board would call the chairman or chairwoman of the committee and ask if the person that's been there already has been a participant, are they active, do they attend meetings, do they go to attend site visits, those kind of things. So they get a view of both the person that's interested in getting reappointed as well as the new.
So the select board would be interviewing?
In other words, there's a new policy on board.
Yeah, and so again, that's the like, I haven't fully, again, I wish it
That's my
wasn't.
summary of what I read.
Yeah, I kind of briefly skimmed it and then
That
kind of
would
moved on
affect
to
all
other
of
stuff. Yeah,
Right.
so,
Yeah,
it's good, it's good.
but if you're concerned about that particular Tuesday evening being a conflict for you,
No, I think I'm okay.
okay,
The week before would definitely have been an issue. I
okay,
think I'm okay on that one.
okay. It just, and, if things play out, just, communicate with Matt.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank
And we do
you.
appreciate that you
Yes.
come to the meetings that you have.
Yes,
That's been noticed.
thank you. I'm just going to wait for Matt to come back. And actually, while we're waiting for him, I don't think you've ever been present while we've interviewed so we
That's
have.
correct.
Okay, so we have a set list of questions that we've come up with. A lot of them are questions we've used in prior interview rounds. We ask the same questions of all the applicants. Different members of the commission will be asking different questions. And then we'll, open it up that if you have any questions for us, we'll be glad to do our best to answer them.
Those were the questions that were in Matthew's packet.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I read them.
Okay, good. So Eric's,
I get the first. Good to see you, Jim. Could you give a brief background of yourself and why you'd like to be on the commission?
A brief background.
Brief.
Well, my husband and I have lived here since 1990, and I think that many of you know me through my participation in town government and local affairs. I'm somebody that's very active in a lot of things. I think probably a little bit more so since I'm now retired. I'm a frequent observer of many things and many boards, and I participate in many boards through attendance or Zoom, or, as you know, I like to write emails. I think that because we get all of our water from the ground in Westford, from the town wells or private wells, it's very important that we preserve those through our adherence to the Wetlands Protection Act. And so, because all these things are important to me, and I now have more time on my hands, and you have an opening, I've decided to submit my name. Is that brief enough?
Yes, that's fine.
That's excellent, thank you.
Marilyn?
Okay. Are you focused on any particular detail or area Or are you looking at the whole big picture when you think of being on this board?
Well, as I said, I am very observant of things that happen everywhere in town, but there are some things that are more of an interest to me, such as preservation of open space, preservation of our agricultural preservation restriction at 6668 Boston Road. I was part of a grassroots group of residents who worked very hard to keep those open space and protected under the APR. So there are times where I can focus in on one thing and work toward that goal.
Okay. Jim?
All right, I have two questions. I'll just ask them both at the same time. First, when we get notice of intents from developers, builders, or homeowners, they almost always include some sort of a design drawing that includes all the pertinent information. How comfortable are you reviewing design drawings for projects that come under our review? And in reviewing a design drawing, what kind of things are you looking for?
Well, my professional background is not that of an engineer or an architect, but I am somebody who follows different issues in town, and right now one of the things that I think is on the minds of a lot of people is the MBTA Communities Act. And so, you know, I am following the hearings and listening and going when I can. And look, I haven't studied the drawings, but I do look at them, and I know that the purpose is to look at what the focal point of the project is in relation to wetlands, streams, etc. It's certainly something that I could get better at.
All right, thank you.
What can you tell us about the Wetlands Protection Act or the local wetlands bylaw?
Well, I think that is the basis for the Conservation Commission's mission statement, if you will. And by that I mean you review plans, and you go through a decision-making process through public hearings like you've been having tonight. And that would happen when somebody wants to build a house or remodel a house or build an addition on a house or do something to a septic system. If there was, if the property was close enough to the wetland. So you would use what you know about the rules. I know the 100-foot buffer is the big thing. So you would utilize that in making your decisions, issuing an order of conditions and so on and so forth.
Thank you.
Okay, have you had an opportunity to watch or attend any of our meetings?
I think if you had a Facebook page or an Instagram page, I would probably be one of your biggest followers. And I'll just leave it at that,
Okay,
right? I'm one of probably your most, one of your groupies, I guess.
and a lot, you know, these questions, we've been kind of using a lot of them for decades or more. So a lot of this just is to get a sense of the person. So,
Sure.
yeah, we just ask everybody, because you never know what you're going to hear. Okay, Eric.
Okay, do you have the ability to take the time to
No.
do it? Is the next or the
Balancing the
above?
How would you
interest.
try to?
Oh, yes, the balancing interest.
You want me to ask it?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll ask you, June. June, how would you try to balance the interests of property owners and their rights to do what they want with their property with the with the restrictions on it from the WPA and local bylaw?
Well, I think the first thing I would need to do is to review the meeting packet, to look at the agenda items and review the corresponding meeting packet. I know that Matthew leaves diagrams or plans at the police station. Right, is that within,
I'm
That's
gonna
our
have to change it now, it's out in the public.
Oh, was I not supposed to say that?
It's okay.
It's okay.
He leaves our packages there. for
I
people
saw
like me.
everybody's
For people-
packages in the box when I dropped
No.
off the goggles I found at East Boston camps yesterday, so I saw them.
Yeah, he leaves it there for those of us who aren't going online to pull everything off. Some people. won't
Well,
come
sometimes the
in.
packages are very big. Yeah. So I think that I would look at the agenda items, I would review the meeting packet, I would go to the secret place and get the diagrams, and I would come prepared and listen to the testimony of the petitioners and the input from all of you and the people in the audience and the petitioner. And I would try to understand what the main focus of the plan was in relation to the wetlands. And I would try to be respectful to the petitioner and hopefully come to an agreement that everybody can be happy with.
Since you asked mine, I'll ask yours. In your experience, what is the most valuable attribute in working with people to bring groups together?
Well, I think that as a successful commissioner, I would need to be prepared, listen to testimony, and treat everybody in the room with respect. And hopefully, people would leave here reasonably satisfied with the decision. I think that I've been to enough of your meetings. I think that usually happens. I've seen it not happen once or twice. I mean, that just is what it is. But I think if you know what all of the issues are and what all of the laws are in relation to the Wetlands Protection Act, and if you feel like I'm listening to you, I think that's something that is very important to people. I think that they need to feel like you're listening to them. I've seen that in healthcare again and again and again. People feel like a doctor's not listening to them, and it's not good. And I think that that's analogous in lots of different areas. So I would try my hardest to be respectful and to hear what people are saying.
Excellent, thank you. Jim?
Yeah.
Most of the commissioners have taken training courses from the Massachusetts Association of Conservation Commissioners. And are you willing to participate in some of these courses?
Well, although I've been to a lot of your meetings, I certainly, I don't have the knowledge that all of you have. I'm retired now. I think I would have time to do something like this. in the 45 years that I was a nurse, one of the things I had to do every 2 years to renew my licensure was to take and attest that I had participated in so many, we called them continuing education units. And that was one of the requirements to keep my license. So it's something that has always been part of my culture, and since I don't know everything that you all know, of course I would be willing to do that.
So, do you have the ability to give the type of time it takes to be a commission member?
Well, I know you meet on the second and fourth Wednesdays of every month. I'm gonna have to learn how to DVD The Real Housewives of Miami, I guess.
Doesn't interfere with my life.
That's one of my guilty pleasures. But, you know, I think you meet two weeks.
Twice a month.
Twice a month. I think your meetings are usually about 2 hours. I know I was at a planning board meeting, I think 4 weeks ago, and they were doing the last call thing about 9:30, but we didn't leave there till 11. I don't think that usually happens with,
It can.
can it?
It
It can.
Yeah, I
You've
tried.
gone home.
Well,
You've gone home late.
It has happened in November and December when the
Yes.
fourth Wednesday is hitting a holiday. A lot of times, we may try and get through the month with one meeting,
I have seen that. So
And-
that's
but that's
understood.
unusual.
But
That's
we've gone
unders-
home at 11 o'clock.
Yes,
It's not like we haven't. But for the most part, it's
So-
reasonable.
So there would be about 4 hours of meetings a month. I know that there's reviewing of the materials, the meeting packet. I noticed there was a question about site visits. I don't know how often that happens, but, you know, I'm pretty visual, and since I don't know everything that you folks know, it would probably be good for me to go along on some site visits. I recently had the opportunity to go on a scenic tour of the Stony Brook Conservation Land with some of you commissioners and the members of the Sudbury Valley Trust. So certainly that's something I'm capable of doing, and I certainly need the exercise. I mean, I think I would have the time.
okay.
What do you think monthly?
No, it's not.
How many hours do you think it is monthly?
Sometimes nothing.
Well, look, if we do a couple of site visits a month.
And most
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
And there are times when you have nothing. And there
Yeah,
are
and
other
there-
times when you have 2 or 3.
yes, and it depends on the side of the meeting packet. I mean,
And
you
not
know,
everybody
sometimes it's
goes.
180
Yeah.
pages, it's been 350, so it's just,
Yeah.
but yes, it's just realizing that it's not just the meetings, it's the preparation, potentially
Yeah.
site visits and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
And not everybody can do everything at every.
well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. Not everybody's as fast as everybody, and everybody doesn't have to go on the site visits or, yeah, well, that's why it's a commission, and there's 5 of you and Matthew, because you're a team, right?
Well, actually, there's gonna be
It's
7.
7 of us.
Wait,
It should
Noel's,
be.
Noel is missing and we're
Wait a
wait a
missing.
minute, we've got an
Yeah.
open seat.
You're looking at us at the.
Wait a minute, how many-
pitiful.
Joel's not here. and this
Noel?
is-
And she
Oh, there's
just
7.
became
Oh, I thought, why did I think there was 5? Because there's 5 selectmen.
Right.
Yes.
There's
And there's,
7
are there
of us.
5 people on the school committee? There's
I think
5?
so.
There's so many boards, so many, yeah. Oh, so there'd be 7 of you, okay.
Okay. I do have one other question that ties in with
Yes.
this. The Conservation Commission has active representation on other town boards, such as the Community Preservation Commission.
Yeah.
Committee, a liaison to the Agricultural Commission.
Yeah.
Right now, we've got the Open Space and Recreation Plan Committee becoming active. Would you have, would you have the time and the, would you be able to take on those additional responsibilities at times? So we might need a liaison to the Agricultural Commission, or just different stuff can come up, and we would look to a member of the commission to step forward and say, I will be our representative
Like
on
I sit
that
on
board.
CPA as well. Okay.
Yeah.
However, it's not all year. It's,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
So
only
every
leading into
committee has
town
its own
meeting.
rules.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Agricultural Commission only meets monthly, if I
Most of the time.
if I remember that correctly. I don't think that they're, I mean, I do regularly look through the agendas of one commission, another, you know, and the Agricultural Commission is not a jam-packed.
Yeah, it just, it's.
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah, it's like, it's letting applicants know that there's more than just, you know,
Yeah.
the different things that may come up, that's
Yeah.
more than just sitting here 2 Wednesday evenings a month. So, thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, so what am I, so then I'm supposed to leave now? I don't know, so although I'm a frequent flyer at your meetings, I have never done this and I've never been here when you've done it. So what am I supposed to do now? Am I supposed to leave and what
No,
what
I mean,
happens now?
So,
I think we should have both.
right, the next agenda item is a discussion to discuss a potential recommendation to the select board. So yourself and Lauren can certainly be in the room.
Okay,
for
so I
this
can stay
discussion.
for a little while?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have to get one.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you could, so what the next step in the process
Yeah.
is the commission has a discussion, we make a decision on a recommendation, there's a letter that's sent to the select board. They've been revising their process, so what they would want, the expectation is our recommendation would probably be on their agenda for their August 12th meeting. We think that they would like the applicants to attend that meeting in case they have some of their own questions. They would already be in possession of our letter, and then
Okay.
they would go through the.
August 12th?
August 12th, we
You
think.
can check with them.
Yes, yeah, that's,
That's their next meeting, so if we make the recommendation out
Okay.
to them, you know, they would probably want to act on it in an expeditious manner.
Okay.
By being there, if they have a question for you, they can ask it.
Yes.
Makes sense. Because sometimes from the board, like when I was there 24 years ago, they asked a question while I sat in the audience.
When you had come before as a candidate to get on the.
Yes, because they had the.
Oh, so they asked you some questions?
That was 24 years ago, but they asked the questions from.
Who was that, like Jack Roble and,
That's right.
yeah, those folks, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
We've all sat where you're sitting, we've all been through that process in front of the select board, so,
okay,
yeah.
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. So, moving on to our next agenda item, which is a discussion of potential recommendation to the select board. Do you want me to read this, or?
no, I just provided you the template that, again, in
Is that-
terms, you know, since the commission's last vacancy in October 2022, the 4 volunteer activity forms were submitted. 2 are presently serving on other boards and committees and did not respond to my email seeing if they were interested in submitting a VAF at this time. The 2 who were before the commission tonight, and kind of the process, if the commission has any thoughts, a motion to make a recommendation, kind of, I haven't been around when we've had 2 people interview either, so.
A little awkward.
No, that's fine.
Just go around.
While it's fresh in my mind, yeah, I'll just go around. I think both of the candidates have experience that would lend itself nicely to the commission. So, I think each of the candidates, meets the muster. What I particularly liked in Lauren is the fact that she had a minor in environmental science. Besides myself, I don't know if anybody else on the commission has any environmental science background. So to me, do you have it?
Yeah, masters.
Oh, excellent. I think we could always use more.
I think it's pretty veterinary.
So that was important. And the other question I thought that Lauren addressed really well was, balancing the interests of property owners and, what we're trying to achieve in the commission and, going to the regs and, trying to explain, to folks, these are the regs, these are what they say, this is what they mean, this is how we try to apply it, and try to come up with that balancing act. And that's what we do. And usually it's, the regs are the foundation, the fundamental to how we go about our business and make the determinations that we do. So I thought that was very strong. I like June's knowledge of other committees. Long-standing member in the community and very involved. June has reached out to me personally and we've had discussions. And, she has a great passion for, protecting the environment, as she said, protecting water resources, doing what we can do as a commission to better the environment and just, making sure we're protecting environmental interests for the town of Westford too. I thought that was very strong too. So, each of them brings something different to the table, different strengths. It's more of a matter of what, we feel that, we need to supplement right now on the committee.
Marilyn?
I'm very impressed with both of you, both of the people who are applying, for the amount of time sitting here and watching meetings, and because I personally know about June's involvement in many issues in town. So we've been very lucky to have both of you apply, actually. It's a tough decision. I think both candidates are valuable, and I think it's a hard choice tonight.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys both have said, that both candidates could work in this position. I'm impressed, though, that there are some significant differences. June's been around in town and following a lot of activities, especially the issue of land management on the Conservation Commission for many years. She's lived in town for 35 years, but she's been active before us in East Boston camps probably for the last 15 years maybe, with everything from leasing it out to the concerns with abuse of the property that we've been having in some cases, things like that. So she's been very active and has been an active participant in the tasks that we undertake already. And I really think that she would make a great commissioner. I think Lauren would also, but I think she needs a little bit more involvement. We haven't seen her before. She's been in the meetings, but she hasn't said anything or participated in any of the planning board activities or the select board or the conscom. So, anyway, that's my assessment.
I think we have two excellent candidates, and it's very hard to make a decision here. Both have their strengths, and it's really interesting to hear their responses to the questions and everything too. I liked how Lauren answered the question about resolving contentious situations, and I liked June with her getting down to the basics of, yes, what we're really trying to do is protect the groundwater. Just two little examples of what caught my attention, but I think, yeah, both and either are valuable.
I agree with everybody. I think we are very fortunate to have two strong candidates here. In terms of the order in which they were interviewed, I like that Lauren has applicable background. She also is very clear that there is more that she can learn that's very specific to the work that we do. With June, I see what I really like, June, is you come from a different background, as do I, and I look at the way all of the skills and experience I had in my prior jobs, all the ways they contribute to what I do here. I see that you would also have a lot to bring, that's maybe not germane to the topics, but it's those secondary skills or those soft skills that would make you a very strong commissioner as well. And I echo that this is a very difficult choice. So,
I'll make a motion to nominate June as our replacements commissioner.
I'll second it.
You'll second it? All those in favor?
Right?
Okay.
It's hard, I'm still trying, you know, it's,
We've got two candidates, both of them can do it.
I mean, I'll make the motion that we nominate Lauren as the candidate.
I'll
Do I have a
second.
second?
I do. I'll second.
All's in favor?
Aye. So, thank you both for coming. You'll hear from the select board. One of the things, June, Eric and I will both say this to you. The first time we interviewed for the commission, the select board chose somebody else. So if you're really interested and there are future openings, we'd like you to continue to be involved with us and come back as there are additional openings because we need you.
Something that June said which struck my mind, and it was she was like, well, you know, who did you interview with, or who said, and you remember Jack Roble, and I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, so of the 5 select board who, you know, when I was at the select board's meeting, the only one that was in my favor was Hal Schreiber, and I remember that to this day, and that was 31 years ago.
So, yeah, but it just, yes, sometimes there are fits and starts, and if this is where you have a passion, don't let a little, don't be discouraged. We appreciate your involvement, and when there's another opening, we would be glad to see you come again.
In June, I'm 90, so that you might have an opening.
Well,
Killing me.
I think you're in remarkable shape for 90,
But
so I wouldn't go
just
there.
being realistic.
I wouldn't go there,
Just being
Marilyn.
realistic.
Don't go there. You probably have at least another 10 more years on it.
Out of your mouth,
We certainly hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Okay, so moving on to our 7:30 PM agenda item, it's ratify emergency certificate for the Westford Department of Public Works Hildreth Street culvert replacement.
So this item included in the commission's packet is the emergency certification I issued last week. Included to the emergency certification was the letter from the assistant town engineer regarding the culvert. It's currently marked by an orange cone on Hildreth Street. It's right at the in front of the Westford Conservation Trust's meadow parcel. And if anybody goes on Hildreth Street tomorrow, they will see work commencing. The most shocking was the granite stone head wall, quote unquote, that has failed and the pavement falling off the road. So they're proposing a temporary fix by installing kind of a new section of new pipe into the existing corrugated metal pipe, and intend once the Boston Road detour is over and Hildreth Street returns to its former level of traffic, to file a notice of intent and replace the entirety of the corrugated metal pipe. If there are any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer. If not, would respectfully request a motion to ratify the issued emergency certification.
Any questions? Can I have a motion to ratify the emergency certificate?
Someone, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to our 7:35 PM agenda item, ratify an emergency certificate for Hammer 23 Tenney Road driveway culvert replacement.
Only because culvert failures occur not one at a time. This is a driveway serving a single-family home off of Tenney Road. As included in the photo, once again, a corrugated metal pipe failed. The head wall was being undercut, and my site visit when I took this photo was with the fire prevention officer from the fire department, who authored the letter included certifying that this is a public emergency, as the driveway is impassable to any fire apparatus or police vehicles. Included in materials sent today was the sketch plan prepared by the retained engineering firm, kind of as the emergency certification is only for the work necessary to abate the emergency situation, deferring to the engineer's assessment, their own site evaluation, and kind of means to resolve it. They propose to install a HDPE pipe in approximate diameter to the existing, and they intend to file a notice of intent as this stream or this culvert does impact, has bordering vegetated wetlands, bank bordering land subject to flooding, and also land under waterways present. I thought it would be best to file a notice of, after the fact, notice of intent, so that if any mitigation, restoration, anything needed to kind of make sure it got involved, it would be reviewed by the commission and DEP. And so if there are any questions from the commissioners, I can certainly try to answer. If not, I would welcome a motion to ratify the emergency certification issued for the driveway culvert replacement at 23 Tenney Road.
So with an after-the-fact NOI, what they're doing now is going to be the full end replacement, not just an interim fix?
Yes, I think the culvert that is being proposed was designed to, but if there are, mitigation on head walls or resource area capacity, resource areas that are lost or resource area capacity that is lost, there would be an opportunity to make sure that we've that there is no net loss of the resource areas.
So the after-the-fact NOI would give us the opportunity to get any supplemental work that we felt is needed, but it's not a case of put in an interim, do the filing, and then come back and redo the work.
Yes, I don't think that was the intent.
So pretty much just replace what's currently existing.
Yes,
They're not increasing the diameter of the culvert?
No, this actually, funny story.
HDPE.
Yeah, HDPE, right, and so something that hopefully has a much longer lifespan. This culvert was actually replaced via an emergency certification in 1994 as the 1-foot concrete pipe was being blocked regularly by beavers and causing flooding.
Right around the corner from me,
Right.
so I know where it is. And what's being proposed with the NOI, it's fine. I don't think there's going to be much, if anything, that's going to need to be done. I just think it's good that we do it in that fashion.
Yeah, that was my thought as well. Have and again, make sure that we haven't lost any resource areas.
That way we can take a look and just, be sure that,
Yep.
things turned out the way we anticipated.
Right, and one of the things, one of the kind of special conditions of the certification was that afterwards, provided reviewed and approved by the culvert shall be installed in the same location at the same elevations. Again, we don't want to be. It's one thing that this is a culvert and not if this was new construction now, it would certainly have to comply with the stream crossing standards, but as it was, constructed in 80 and and work redone in 94.
Because the one right next to it has a box culvert.
Right, because I think that one came
Right,
later.
came in
and-
later, had a box
And to be honest, I think if that was constructed now, that would probably be more of a bridge than even just a box culvert.
Exactly.
The box culvert is still undersized, but it's better than this. But where it is an existing culvert,
And where
anticipate,
it's located it works.
yeah, changing H&H
Yeah.
too much for,
This will be
again,
fine.
yeah.
Any more questions? Can I have a motion to ratify this emergency certificate?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Moving on to our 7:40 PM agenda item. It's a public hearing for 83 Providence Road.
Under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Westford's non-zoning wetland bylaw, Chapter 171, the Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, at 7:40 PM in Meeting Room 201 at Town Hall, 55 Main Street, to consider the request for determination of applicability application of John Hickey Jr. for the abandonment of an existing septic system and installation of a new force main, pump chamber, and septic tank within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands and an intermittent stream at 83 Providence Road, Assessors Map 22, Parcel 68, Lot 0.
Good evening. Jeff Hanford representing the applicant at 83 Providence Road. Currently, a single-family home exists. It was built in 1970.
That's a
The-
5-bedroom. As a 5-bedroom. It says right now it's an existing 5-bedroom.
Right. That was based on the assessor's records. There was an addition put on the house, but as it turned out, on further investigation, the original permit from 1969 with the Board of Health was a 4-bedroom. And we recently investigated what happened with the addition, and it turned out the intent was another bedroom, but in the end, it was a garage with a family room. It was supposed to be an additional bedroom over the garage. They never ended up completing that, but for some reason, the assessors had it that way. So we've had to change it and reduce it to a 4-bedroom.
We received some notice today in one of your, one of the late notice that said it was a 4-bedroom now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the diagram that was passed out this evening at the
Yeah,
meeting
so it's still-
is still the same.
So it still lists a 5-bedroom, but the design, the capacity is for 4, correct, Jeff?
So
Yeah.
is the assessor's record going to be corrected? If the dwelling is actually only a 4-bedroom, are steps going to be taken to get the assessor's record corrected?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my only other question would be, this is maximum feasible compliance because, parts of the systems is within the buffer zone to the resource area, but I'm assuming it's no closer than what currently exists. Is that a
Yes,
fair assessment?
yes,
Yeah.
and, so the nearest,
Existing sewer was way closer. Now we got the,
yeah, the existing leach field extent is, where the closest of the new is,
it's where the force main was.
right, yeah. And here's the existing leaching area, so it's certainly a little bit,
Well,
it's
the leaching
certainly,
area is certainly pulled further away, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing he has in there is
The
tank,
and pump.
his D-box, and his force main.
right, and that'll be, wired and sharp like a bad battery, when it's,
We could move it because the existing pipe coming out comes out under the basement floor. So there's no chance
You're
of,
doing everything you can.
Yeah. anything more from you, Matt?
I did confirm with the health department today that no changes, while there are minor revisions that may be needed, none of the changes will be occurring within the commission's jurisdiction and 100-foot buffer. I think there may be, is it grading, Jeff, or?
There's an adjustment to the pipe elevations in the leach field,
Okay, yeah.
but there's no
But-
change in location.
Yeah, so if we could just get a copy of the final plan you could drop off to Abby, we just have that for our record as well. We much appreciate it, but,
Yep.
and my only condition, if the commission is amenable, would be that the erosion controls be inspected upon, prior to the commencement of work.
Any comments or questions from members of the audience? Can I have a motion to issue a conditional negative determination?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Moving on to our 7:45 PM agenda item, it's a public hearing for Shama 51 Vinebrook Road.
Under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, and Westford's non-zoning wetlands bylaw, Chapter 171, the Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, at 7:45 PM in Meeting Room 201 at Town Hall, 55 Main Street. Consider the request for determination of applicability application of Cont Sharma for the removal of an existing deck and construction of a new 40 by 14 deck within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands and bordering land subject to flooding at 51 Vinebrook Road, Assessors Map 5, Parcel 62, Lot 0.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Commission. My name is Hushman Dafshar from Taj Engineering LLC, representing Mr. Sharma, the owner and the applicant of the property located at 51 Vinebrook Road. As depicted on the plan that we have submitted, Mr. Sharma family is, you can say, growing. He has 2 small children, and I guess they would like to use the facility of a bigger deck. He does have a smaller deck currently, as shown on the plan, almost next to the proposed deck. And he's proposing to remove the existing deck and instead installed and built the bigger deck next to it. The deck as shown, 14 by 40, does include a set of stairs which will be located on the extreme.
If you want to use, there's a pointer
right-hand
to,
side.
Yeah. There we go.
Right hand side. So
Where would the stairs
somebody
be?
was pointing
Where was
already.
the stairs?
Yeah, I have a red one, yeah.
Where would the stairs be? Could you point that out?
The stairs will be right here.
Okay.
I'm sorry, right here, where that rectangle is actually. So there will be a landing just by the house, by the exterior the exterior wall of the house, and from that landing the stairs will go down and will not really cross the limit of the front or whatever the edge of the deck. The removal of the existing deck will be just remove and haul away, and there won't be any storage on site. The driveway is here, so it's easy to carry the debris to the driveway and just load up the truck for the disposal. The deck will be supported by 4 posts, really minimal disturbance. And again, if there is any excess material by installing the 4 posts, which is just 12-inch sonotube, they will be disposed also, and it won't be stored on site. There's a silt fence put all around the yard, backyard, to avoid any possible erosion. As you can see, we are not really changing any drainage patterns. We are not really proposing any change in the grades or any disturbance really to the backyard. And again, as you can see, the existing house is already within the buffer zone. And I want to say actually 95% of the whole development, the structure and decks and so on and so forth, is within the buffer zone which Mr. Sharma has inherited. So,
I just have a few questions, and I think we'd be able to pretty much, so the patio that's listed, is that go away? Is that under the deck now?
yeah, it is not under there's no deck right now, as you can
Right, but
see.
it shows a patio. When you put the deck there, what will happen to the patio?
It will be removed.
Okay.
So is the stairs, and it will be some kind of either PS stone or crushed stone under the deck.
Okay. All your septic is out in the front, so we're not, by putting the deck there, you're not somehow, impinging on the septic.
That's correct.
And I'm assuming what's currently there is pretty much lawn anyway?
Lawn.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
So,
it's
and
long.
he's outside of our 50-foot no disturb.
Mhm.
Yes.
And here they have it as a 55 no build zone. So I really don't see any problems with this.
Jim, did you have a question? So so with the wood deck that you're removing, is it, does it have support posts underneath it?
That's correct.
So on sonotubes?
I'm not sure, Madam Chair. It was built later. What they put under.
Be removing them
well-
anyway and putting in new ones.
Well, that would be my question. If you're removing the old deck structure,
Yes.
would you be digging up the post or just cutting off the post at grade and leaving?
Usually we go 10 inch to a foot below grade.
Okay.
And remove anything
Okay.
coming up.
So then that area would be renaturalized to lawn?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and just so that I understand it better, the new deck is how high off the ground?
It is about, I would say, 8 feet, which is at the level of the first floor.
Okay, okay.
The first floor deck
So
then.
so the steps are from the deck down to a landing on the ground? You were talking about, yes.
Or from a second floor down to the deck.
Yeah.
Well, I just, make sure I push the right button. So this little, when you were talking about the stairs there, I didn't know if they were going up to the deck. It just, I couldn't.
From the floor of the deck, let's call it finished floor of the deck,
Okay.
you are stepping down to the lawn.
Oh, okay, so
Yes.
that's how you would get from the deck down to the ground?
Exactly, and that's, as you can see, obviously, the contours, they go down towards the resource area, which
You
is,
really should have the stairs marked on here where they're gonna be, because the stairs are part of the section outside the no-build zone.
correct,
Okay, this doesn't show that.
correct, it will be within the deck itself, yes.
So within that 14 by 40.
Exactly,
Right,
yes.
if it says
Okay.
that, if it says that somewhere, that
I
would
mean,
be
I
good.
can put that, we can note that
Yes.
in the description in the
Conditions,
determination.
correct, yeah, we did miss that, I'm sorry.
And given the slopes, I'm just wondering if the erosion control needs to be so far from the area where the work will be occurring.
I mean, it's all lawn and presently, I mean, they're proposing a silt fence and straw wattle, or
Okay.
in a,
Yeah, it's so
So,
minimal
I
the
mean-
work that I don't think we're gonna,
and I mean, I think this is,
topography's not really all that steep. It's
yeah.
gently sloping.
I don't see, I wouldn't envision the erosion control in the event of, between the kind of, where the lawn flattens out and the kind of development grade, erosion controls proposed, I wouldn't anticipate any issues.
So you're not the work would not involve sufficient ground disturbance that there would be a risk of loose soil washing down slope in a heavy rainstorm?
Correct.
Okay.
My only couple comments is just where this lot is within the 100-year floodplain, and portions of kind of that 30-foot no disturb buffer have been encroached over time. If the property owner would be amenable to kind of establishing the 100-year, kind of renaturalizing the 100-year floodplain and the 30-foot no disturb buffer. I know you have planted, I saw a pear tree, I think a maple and maybe an oak as well, kind of in that area. But if you're amenable, I'd be happy to work with you in kind of demarcating that, not really germane to this petition, but I would hate, for a shed to be dropped, to be put at that far corner of the lot, only for it to, only for us to experience a 100-year flood, and now your shed's flooding, or something to that. You put a patio or kind of a sitting area down by there, and the next thing we know, you're trying to bring in fill to raise it because it gets incredibly wet during spring runoff and things like that. Just kind of a means to if
Friendly suggestion?
yeah, just to
Okay.
be happy to work with you with that.
Sure.
To kind of
Yeah. That's
kind of
understood.
in parallel with the petition, with this petition. Yes.
Are there any comments or questions from members of the audience? Okay, can I have a motion to issue a conditional negative determination?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So Matt will be with you, we'll get back to you with the paperwork.
Can he do a flower bed in that area?
If
Without
it's,
changing topography?
I'd prefer if it was naturalized.
Natural, probably
Yeah,
natural ground
plantings
cover.
and things like that. I'd be much more amenable to than kind of, again, I'd be concerned if it's being a regularly maintained flower bed. Are you using fertilizer, Miracle Grow
That's
to,
right.
that's what I'd be concerned about. So, if it can be native species that, are resilient to our area and, will thrive kind of with minimal intervention on your part, but at the same time flower, how you intend to and, are aesthetically pleasing, we can certainly work.
And don't mind their roots getting wet.
Right, and, occasionally get their roots wet. That's also a very important piece to this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I need to run and grab my phone so I can log in.
Okay, so when Matt gets back, we're going to move on to our 7:50 PM agenda item, which is Stony Brook Conservation Area request to amend landowner's permission letter. So that better get signed.
Getting there.
Yes? Okay, here you go. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak here on short notice.
Is that something germane to the next hearing, or?
No, that was process. No,
okay.
I needed my phone because I got multi-factor authenticated. And my phone died, so.
There you go.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody has received their town,
Yeah.
our friendly emails from IT. But I need to,
Okay, so you're just getting logged in.
yes,
That's great. Do you have the slides, Matt?
that's what I need to log in for.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay, no worries.
They're on a file
No
somewhere.
worries, no worries.
Yeah, they were.
Why are we revisiting?
So that's the,
we'll let.
So I can give some background. So we appreciate the agenda item at short notice. We shared the letter, the landowner's permission letter, with Parkrun. They agreed a number of points, but respectfully requested 2 points around the duration. And they gave me feedback about the lead-in time to get up and running. So they said to me, it's going to take a little bit longer lead-in time to get up and running. So likely, if we agreed an amendment this week, it could be starting, it would mean we would start on the 27th of September. So it's a slightly longer lead time to start. I know the letter had said that we would run the trial until the 4th of October. So that would mean we'd have literally 1 week of trial data. So that was one piece about having a longer lead time. And the second piece was typically Parkrun cover insurance over a period of a year, but accepting that for this particular trail site, there would need to be a shutdown period of around 3 months over winter to make sure that the trail is safe, and they appreciated we would be using it as is. So subject to a successful pilot, our request would be to have a little bit longer this year for the pilot, and to have the opportunity, subject to feeding back to you the results of that pilot, the opportunity to run it next year for another 9 months, subject to a successful pilot. So our request is to consider changing the dates for the pilot, and then our request, we can come back to you and review, and the request is typically, Parkrun request 12 months from when we receive landowner's permission.
And the other thing that this also got me thinking about is what we didn't touch on at the last meeting, but it had come up in earlier discussions, is that there are times when there are weekend rentals of the camp facility where Parkrun would not be able to use the roadway and trails through Camp Neshoba. And so I had also, that was something we had discussed earlier. It wasn't part of what we figured out at the last meeting in terms of whether Parkrun would try to hold the event with a different second half of the route, or just say on those Saturdays we would, there just would not be an event because it would be
Conflicting, yeah.
or it'd be too difficult to manage an alternate route if people are
So
trying to.
there's a couple of ways that we could handle that. There's an alternate route there's an alternate route. We've got some optionality in the route itself. We had discussed, so I checked in, Joy was really great in providing us booking dates. And the idea was that we would always talk with Michelle Collette and her group around bookings for the camp. She's actually said to me that the camp bookings close on the 11th of October. There's nothing after the 11th of October to the end of the year. But we also had ways to change the route so that we wouldn't run around through the camp. We could kind of do a there and back and turn around at the parking lot and go back to Stony Brook. So we had some optionality around the route.
You mean just retrace the route, or, because I think initially there was some talk about using an additional trail segment that went closer to the Stony Brook itself.
Yeah. I don't know if you have the map.
Yeah, and my concern about focusing on what's the alternate is if the Parkrun organization itself is going to do its own analysis of the route you're proposing, that I would want to make sure that they also included the alternate portion if we go that route. So that was one thing that, it was a detail that was important to get figured out that didn't get kind of covered in our last meeting.
That's a great point, Margaret. So I think the point was that for Parkrun, just so you know, the process is we do a video, we run a video of the course. Mm-hmm. We've done a risk assessment which also incorporates the alternative route. So I would add to that video the additional route by the river as an alternative, and we've already included it in the assessment, the risk assessment that we shared with you.
And the third point you had brought up was about participant estimates. Yes. And I think at the last meeting, it finally clicked for me that really the way Parkrun works is anybody who's ever registered for Parkrun anywhere in the world. So if they registered in the UK and they happen to be in Westford and they heard about this, they could participate. So basically, you have no way of limiting how many participants actually do the event. And so us trying to, from my perspective, us trying to limit how many participants, they can't do that.
Their paperwork had indicated that they were expecting 40 or something the first
Typically,
year.
yeah.
But there's no way to limit that or no way to change it.
Right, and one of the things we had talked about was limiting, when you get the scan up to 40, you stop after that. But the downside of that is you don't find out how many other people.
Until they show up and start running.
No, you don't know, because you don't know ahead. At 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, they have no
That's
many
right.
people who
Exactly.
show.
You don't know until the race is there, so.
Well, yeah, until people show up and that you scan them, and we'd really want them to scan everybody so we knew what kind of participation level we're actually dealing with.
So, just to expand on that point, there are a couple of things. There's data, historic data that we can look at from, I looked at Cutler Park. Cutler Park is the closest to ours in terms of the trail. It's a little bit more urban than ours in terms of road access, etc. And again, the numbers that they have provided historically, I mean, there are 90 park runs across the US, but this would be the 4th in Boston. The numbers I've seen vary. They start out with a new run around in the 20s. They predict from the first year, potentially another 50% could join. They predict it can be slower to build a trail run as opposed to a park, a paved park. So all I can go on, but you're right, Madam Chair, it's almost like you have a passport, and the data that we could provide you at the end of a pilot would have, at the end of every week, you get a website, at the end of every week we can provide you with, because people get barcoded at the end to confirm they've completed a run and walk. So we could provide you the number of participants, we could provide you the number of volunteers, because it's a community event as well. So we can provide you number of participants, number of volunteers, and then we could get some testimonials from people around what they thought of it. Did they, enjoy it? We could also ask for testimonials from the public who we're sharing the trail with, remembering that, so that we can get feedback from kind of both sides. But you're right, the principle is that you have a barcode that is unique to you and is a passport to you. So we can only go on kind of historic data from the other park runs. In the letter, though, you could state that you want to cap to a value, and I think we'd said 40 in the first year. They think we'd be looking to get to that in a trial.
But and I guess.
But you're right, there's no way to.
My concern is.
Set it at 40 or.
Yeah, is what's important to us is knowing how many people showed up, whether your estimating is good or off the mark. It just, what matters to us is how many people are there. And I guess circling back to the changing of the pilot and what is requested for 2026, people's input. Eric.
Right now, they're looking to push it out till the end of December almost. And I'm just thinking that the condition of that trail then is probably going to be markedly different than, what it is now or what it's like when it was, assessed and evaluated. So I guess that would concern me a little bit, that I'm thinking that trail is probably going to be snowed or iced or something, come.
Fallen leaves, rainy or wet ground condition. Yeah,
it's going to be different, though, and that concerns me a little bit, for people's safety and doing that event at that time of the year.
And in fact, that being the time when we introduce the public to this particular venue, because part of what Jim, you look like you've got.
Yeah, we talked about the duration and the months when this is I felt comfortable doing this. And first off, the request for a year instead of or 9 months, it's requested for 9 months instead of the 5 at most. That's not us. That's from the Westford Land Preservation Foundation, the holder of the CR. So, yeah, I understand that you usually have a 1-year land use permission. Now you're gonna have 5 or less, like less than, could be
5 months
4.
or less.
Could be 4 months, could be 3 months. And when I looked at the months across the year, when the property's already being used by a significant number of runners, when the cross-country teams are there, when the ice makes it unsafe or unusable, and when the camp operations are going on, that kind of leaves you in the long term for April, May, June, and July. That's a 4-month period. There's no cross-country conflict there. There's minimal camp conflict. The camp's Monday through Friday, and you guys are Saturday. And that's after ice out. December through March, it's not safe to be running in there on the roads, the trails, the paths, anything. It really is not. So I don't think you're going to get a 9-month period. You're not going to get it from us, because we have to follow what the Westford Land Preservation Foundation tells us. We ask them, they set a limit of 5 months at most.
Yeah.
That means it can be less than 5 months, like 4 or 3.
So just to speak to the point, I mean, absolutely agree, December to March, we are aligned on that in terms of the level of the state of the track
Okay,
and the
I
level of
agree
the
with
track
you on
with
that,
winter.
December to
Totally
March.
agree with that. I did contact Andrea Sweet just to ask if she is here, if she was going to be here. Would the commission consider extending at least the period of the pilot trial so that we have sufficient data, because it's all contingent on that pilot, on having a successful pilot, at least extending a little bit the pilot. If we know we can only at first kind of get to the event and start the event in October, would the commission consider extending that a little so that we can come back to you
And that
with
was,
data?
that's kind of, I wanted to hear Jim's comments first before I kind of weighed in, is my thought was that the late fall, it's a lovely time to walk there, but in terms of getting people engaged, having a good intro to the venue, my thought really was, let's not try and squeeze the pilot in this fall. It's basically plan that says, we're going to do a pilot from April to like mid-August, which gives you 4.5 months. That's a prime time for people getting interested in doing it. You've got some better weather conditions. In terms of doing a pilot in a way, in conditions that set you up for the best success. And then I agree with Jim. I don't think we're going to get beyond the 5 months with what the Westford Land Preservation has said. And if we start to have cross-country team use late August and into September, I think we're really, 5 months starting in about April.
April through August.
April through August looks to be
5 months, and it would probably work.
a good window, and this is where we're thinking about starting. The pilot is to give us a chance to see how it plays out, what kind of response you get, how things all work. So that's where my mind was going, is opposed to trying to get the pilot in this year, kind of bite the bullet and say, we'll start it in the spring and try and set it up to be better.
When would the commission consider then a review, and just wanted to get some feedback on the metrics that we suggested for a review? Because that was the other thing we were going to discuss on the 13th of August. Would that be sufficient? What does success look like for you, for the commission?
Well, I sent to Matt my thoughts on some metrics. It was participation, but also, I was interested, I wanted to hear what each week you're having a course pre-review, what was that? Where you felt the need to set up cones for people, where you had marshals, and just that information on a weekly basis to kind of get a sense of how it's going according to plan. And then with the metrics, It's just how many people start, how many people finish.
I was
Marilyn?
just thinking, if any surprises came up.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
it sounds-
Issues or
so-
injuries?
Yeah,
Oh,
just
wow, we didn't
unintended
think
issues,
about
yeah.
this, so,
Yeah.
you know, if you include that, then we can reconfigure.
Yeah,
Okay, sounds good, sounds sensible.
yeah.
It's kind of like a working document.
Yeah, absolutely.
Certainly in the beginning.
Yeah, without,
terms of
without
metrics?
trying to penalize
Yeah.
you,
Mine isn't so much a metric as I'd like to know after the fact, we'll know if we get any complaints from people.
Well,
People are out there walking and they're getting overrun by a mob of runners or something, we'll hear about it. If
Well-
we don't hear about it, that's good news.
Well, but, and actually, that's,
it wouldn't make a difference what you did.
Well, no, but-
Actually. You know, you might try to make sure that, you know.
Some of the trails that are marked there aren't very wide. If they go
I
along,
got- I
if they
hear
go along
you,
the
I hear
Stony,
you, I
if
hear
you go
you.
along the Stony Brook Trail.
It depends on who's out that day.
The trails
But that's
go
the
wide.
thing, I mean, that's exactly it. We'd get testimonials from participants, but also in this public forum,
Yeah.
people who
It would
were,
be
who
interesting.
didn't
It would-
participate.
It's,
Yeah.
you know, it's a work in progress.
but this
Absolutely.
also gets into the communication and the publicity a month or two before the start of the pilot, which includes general public notification
That
that,
this will be
hey, this
happening,
is
yeah.
going to be happening. And basically, you know, people who maybe don't feel like participating is right for them. If they want to give us feedback one way or the other of what they think of this event happening, we want to hear that too.
Yeah, well, that's realistic. We're gonna get it whether we ask for it or not.
There's room for adjustments too. If people normally go at 9 o'clock in the morning and they go at 9 o'clock and they're getting overrun by runners, then maybe they try it next week at 10 o'clock or 10:30 or 11.
Or earlier in the summer.
Or earlier,
Well,
whatever.
and the other-
That would work, that could work for both.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is the trail system there is so extensive. If people are finding that part of the trail they use is part of the Parkrun thing, it may get them to explore trying other parts of the trail system. You know, they vary where they walk. You know, if they've been just kind of doing one
It's a
thing.
learning experience this year.
Yeah, so,
Absolutely. And, I mean, we would come back on a regular basis anyway, just to feedback on some of those
And if
metrics
there's-
as well.
If there's anything that happens that none of us, you know, anticipated or were worried about, I'm sure you'd come forward. or we will all,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
And the metrics will be public the metrics will be public every week at the end, you know, being posted on the website, so the public can all see that.
yeah. You know, and thinking about where we had talked about that little detour around the edge of the meadow, that's another area. I'd rather kind of work through that in good weather rather than the fall and into the winter.
Okay.
Can I mention something? And correct me if I'm wrong, because I wasn't on the Parkrun call when they talked about how they do the insurance policy for 12 months. But if that is standard, how they kind of do it, would you guys have an issue if the policy, though, were a standard, like, and it said April 2026 to April
So if they don't have the
2027,
ability to
even
prorate it.
though
Yeah,
we're
they don't.
only using
Okay.
it for
They
that
don't.
pilot for 5 years, you don't have issue
They don't.
with that?
Seem to be fine.
Because the commission, it would be, the landowner has, it's your prerogative to determine at, you know, what point you allow permission or not, and we would continue to go there, but it's a block,
Okay.
standard.
Yeah, just so that there's not like anything that you're
Yeah,
like, wait,
no,
we
I
said
mean,
5 months
yeah.
and this is
Yeah.
saying that you've got it until April.
That's good to
2020.
raise,
Is
just
that-
because that's, you know, that could very easily be the, wait, I thought we told them only 5 months. Why was this?
Particularly when you came back and
It's
asked for
great to-
October, that
Yeah,
we're not
absolutely.
like saying, hey,
No, it's,
like-
yeah, it begins into the illusion of precision. And we don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But
I,
also Westford Town, they made very clear that Westford Town would be named and hold the certificate. That apparently is a standard.
Wouldn't our attorney
thing.
look at that anyway, or he-
So
Yeah, they
we'll
already
show
have,
that
yeah,
with-
we've,
so I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay,
And, you know,
okay.
Thank you.
thank you.
I'm trying to think, I'm just looking at my notes, make sure that this time we covered everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So do we,
So we won't have
so we
this,
need to
we
amend,
won't have our pilot this fall, it'll start this coming spring.
so basically the letter that Matt drafted and that I signed needs to be revised
Readjusted.
on the following points. that, well, so in the cases where the camp is rented out and the Parkrun can't do through that, your intention is to use the alternate route as opposed to skipping that
by the
Saturday?
river.
Okay. So I think we want to make note of that. And then so the approval start date now moves to April of 2026, end date,
April through August.
so August of 2026.
Do you want
The
to
end
do
of
the
August.
Saturday of Labor Day?
No, it's just August, because I think the kids go back to school. They may have some pre-run practices or something like that. I think that'd be good enough if we just say
So August 29th.
whatever, the last day of August.
The last Saturday.
Labor Day is the first weekend in September, right?
Yeah, but we're looking for the last Saturday because he's trying to be precise about
Yeah,
it.
So August 29th,
Yes.
so.
Being the last Saturday.
Yes.
Being the last
That's the last
Saturday.
Saturday.
That's fine.
Okay. And we want to scrap the part about total participants, because I think at this point, you're just,
It's what shows up.
it's what shows up, and we want that data.
Yep, yeah, we
Okay.
can provide that.
So Matt will draft an updated letter, and I have a motion that Matt draft the updated letter for me to sign on behalf of the commission.
Yep, that's fine.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
So now we're moving on to the conservation restrictions.
Yes, taking the second one first, the Wendell Place open space, needs further time with the Division of Conservation Services and the developer's attorney and myself. So we just recommend the commission, the Spaulding Hill Estates open space parcel A and parcel D. This was included in the meeting packet and was provided upon satisfactory review by the Division of Conservation Services, and it references the plan of record, and does include,
It didn't have a map, right?
no, and so typically it gets, when they record the CR, it's concurrent with the recording of the CR plan, which is why there's the blanks and they fall, and they just, and so they, and,
We have an image of what they intend to use. I mean,
Any drainage features or structures or anything on
Right.
I don't,
the CR that all of a sudden become our responsibility to maintain?
What things like walkways or markers or things like that.
That's a really tight site.
yes. Does this have? That is blank. No, go away.
We can always table it till we get it if you can't find it, Matt.
Yeah, that may be the case.
So just,
Do not have it presently.
okay.
But I can certainly get that and also follow up on the question regarding the markers.
If there was anything on, on any of them, it'd be nice to see that they're in the right place, that they make sense.
Yep.
We also gotta look for places like if it's a path that goes between two property owners and there's a right of way in there for the public to pass. we want to make sure that that's marked so that we don't end up with one neighbor cutting up the line, the other one cutting it, and then it's gone, it disappears.
And then they complain, well, there was never,
It's
you know,
never been-
a trail here or
Right, it's
whatever.
never-
I don't,
We've had
I
that
don't
in town
think,
before. you know.
I don't think, from what I recall, I don't think we have any of those situations here.
Okay.
But yes, they
But
do
it's
come
good
up.
to be able to check it and
Yes,
just confirm.
Yeah.
yes. So table both of those.
And both of those.
If we can't stick the, image, what is it, it's always A or B or whatever, if the image isn't there, even if we have it separately, just to review, as long as it's the one that's gonna get recorded.
Yeah.
that'd be fine.
Can have.
Okay. Our next 7:50 PM agenda item is a continuation of public hearing for Zom Living LLC, 37 Powers Road.
They were just with the planning board Monday night and requested, their planning board only meets once in August, which is before the commission's second meeting. Request to continue, commission, motion.
Can I have a motion to continue the public hearing to August 27th?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Execute declaration of covenant and mutual agreement, Loon Way improvement determination of applicability condition.
One of the commission's more recent meetings, there was the determination of applicability for the Loonway roadway improvements associated with Lot 7 and 8. The commission's condition of approval for the determination required that a executable agreement be reviewed by town council and executed by the town, provided is the declaration of covenant and mutual agreement. It says that at no point shall the future property owners of Lot 7 or 8 block Loon Way and remove any rights, any access rights. Town council has reviewed it and is satisfied.
Okay.
The only question I had in reading it was they talked about, or what wasn't clear to me from reading it is who is responsible for ongoing road maintenance and snow plowing from Loon Way to the Common Drive and from the Common Drive to Groton Road, which is the entrance, which is being improved so that that's the way that emergency vehicles would come to the site. And I just, it's like,
My understanding is that was included in the Common Drive special permit.
Okay.
And it's the responsibilities of, those properties that have frontage on this Loonway extension. The town doesn't have any responsibility.
so the town would not be plowing it, the town would not be paving it.
Right, yeah.
Not repairing
Again, because it's
potholes,
not,
okay.
is my understanding to us,
Okay.
but it's not.
Okay, so, can I have a motion to execute the declaration of covenant and mutual agreement for Loon Way improvement determination of applicability conditions?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we need to sign?
Yes, I have one signature page for everybody because they did it oddly, so.
Oh, each of us has a page?
Yes, everybody has a page. They didn't put it all on one, which,
How do you,
so sign it by your name.
oh, okay, so there's a bunch of pages, but they're not
But
individually
collectively,
named.
they're all one page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and they're numbered differently, so
Keep us,
I was
see if we're still awake at this time of
I
night.
was surprised when I came into the office and found
So
this.
you want our
So where do you want our
signature up in the
signature?
top right.
Yes, and that's it.
And then in the
That's
first,
the only one?
then in the first blank, you want us to print our name for the notary?
I can do that for if
From
people
your
want
signature.
to. There.
Okay.
The first line was, okay.
First name period, that's the first line.
Oh, we are going to print our name in the notary?
I thought we just did,
Yes.
Okay.
And this
Sign at the top,
yes.
and then below, in the paragraph below,
What's the next
on the
one?
first,
First
That's
line?
the
yeah,
identification,
And on
which will
this-
be personal knowledge.
on this day, do we need to put the date in or leave that blank?
Oh, you can,
Okay.
it's the 23rd.
Okay. Which was,
And that's, I guess I gotta collect them too. I don't want these.
yeah,
Is that what you did?
you don't want to have to deal with one missing.
I did it the same, so.
I think technically I only need 4, so.
At least we're
We're joined at
consistent.
the, we're joined at the hip.
We are.
Thank you.
Okay. Still on 750, appointment with Bobby's Ranch.
I have nothing to update at this time.
Okay.
Okay. Discussion of an issue enforcement order for 27 Tenney.
I do not have anything to
Okay.
update regarding that.
Okay.
Moving right along.
Moving right along. Okay. I'll turn it over to you to drive the rest.
Oh, thank you. With 20 Keys Road, I do not have an update on the letter I was hoping to get out.
Okay.
With respect to the Stony Brook Conservation Area, included in miscellaneous received from the Teamworks camp operator. They are anticipating coming to the Commission's August 13th meeting. They're looking to, they're requesting to renew the lease for 5 years. Yes, Jim?
It's also pretty clear there was a letter writing campaign
Yes.
initiated about the condition of the roadway.
I can't say, I mean, that was just, whether that,
Hearsay?
I'm not sure, I mean, I think the condition of the entrance road was at such a state that I don't think there was anything organized. Or, I mean,
I think there must have been, just from reading the words, or almost some of the words are almost the same. But in either case, we've gotta make contact with the Westford Land Preservation
Right.
Foundation and
Right.
find out, can we,
What can we do?
if we can't pave, which we've tried to do before, the roadway into at least the kiosk area, that got nixed.
Right,
But they didn't say what we could do.
right.
So
So
what,
they have to give
what
us a
can,
solution.
we gotta find out what can we do? What can we do to
We can't
improve the
ignore
road?
it.
And
I
had
guess
you
is the
also-
issue.
If we can't do anything, that's okay, but as long as they tell us what it is.
In writing.
Well, but did you reach out
Fill in
to,
potholes with gravel or.
And we're gonna
DPW
need,
about patching?
and we're
so
gonna need,
DPW,
and we're gonna need that information when we talk with Teamworks, because
Right.
that's the major bone of contention we've had with them from the meetings we held a year ago, that they were not interested in participating in any kind of transportation up the road. They just want the parents to drop the kids up, and that's it.
and so,
That
you
isn't
know,
gonna work.
so following the emails that came in, DPW, as part of their just general gravel road maintenance, annual maintenance, they did go out and, you know, it's in a better condition than, so that's, you know, it did get addressed
Nobody
and,
was driving in there at 2 miles an hour either, because I walk at about 4 miles an hour, and I wasn't passing any cars. That's what it would take. If they were doing 2 miles an hour, and I'm walking at 4, I'd be passing cars, and I was not. So that's a bunch of nonsense about how slow they had to go.
so, yes, I will get that number and can relay that to the Teamworks for that meeting on the 13th. Again, is,
Good,
Well,
We
okay.
should use it.
well, no, there's 2 things. There's what the land preservation, how many trips how many vehicle trips they're wanting us to get down to. But also, to Jim's point, is, you know,
What can we do to the road, if
Well-
anything?
Right.
Yeah.
How do we address the concern?
yes, how do we do more than patching it every time rain washes stuff out of the potholes?
Well, if that's what
What's
their answer is
acceptable?
just do it every time we get a complaint about it. Well, then we know that isn't gonna work. And so we have a restriction that's gonna prevent use of
Yeah.
the roadway.
But
You know,
if they,
we gotta find out what their position is. They've gotta tell us.
they
They've gotta
tell
put
us
it in
how
black and
they would
white.
fix
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
what they will allow.
And now we know it's Andrea that we're going to. That's one person. She's the person we contact,
Okay,
right? We don't,
She's our focal point.
no, she is the
Point person.
the speaker on behalf of the Westford Land Preservation Foundation.
Right.
okay.
She signed the letter, she's the president, she's the one that's gonna tell us.
She retired from the board, so she's got more time.
Okay.
I do not have an update at this time for the repairs using the Friends of EDC funds.
Where are you?
After the
This year.
third bullet point, EDC camps repairs.
Okay. So that's okay.
And the Edwards Woods Conservation Area, the restoration. Included in this were a couple kind of,
First steps.
Right, but we're not
steps in
there.
demarcating the property boundaries and installing the no dumping signs. I will hope to get quotes, request quotes from surveyors so that,
Okay. So it's gonna happen.
yes. For the Freedom Park improvements, included in the commission's meeting packet and then additionally sent along as this afternoon was Margaret's kind of overview of the bounds and kind of existing conditions with respect to some of those bounds, because
We have the money for that? Or the facilities, the capability rather for that? We have the capability to do those things?
You mean to fix where areas of fencing need to be addressed?
yes, I think we do have, I likely think so, again, included in the commission's meeting packet was kind of the sketch plan showing bounds. One thing I did want to ask the commission was, did you all want to make a formal site visit out there to kind of observe the bounds? Again, particularly, if you want, again,
If you take.
you could say you guys can go out on your own and, you can, there's, 3 foot high, wooden stakes painted bright orange, you can see them pretty easily.
It looked pretty obvious from the
The
pictures.
photos as well, yeah.
We'll take your word for it.
So, kind of, in figuring out the next steps, it's like documenting the lengths of fence, kind of working with the abutting properties, or primarily the property at 9 Pond Street.
Do you have funds for this?
Yes.
Okay.
And, as shown there's segments of the fence
Yeah, I saw that in the packet.
that are,
Disconnected and others.
well, they're disconnected, but the corners of the fence, how to describe this? Both-
One end is on one property and the other one is on the other. So it's kind of like they tried to make it along the property line and they didn't quite get it.
So.
They tried.
Right, well, and so it's kind of, it's, the fence is on both properties, and I was going to reach out to the other fence viewer, just to see, hey, what the role may be to mediate and advise as to, if you have a fence that starts on each person's property, how do you go about, whose fence is it? How do you, and so.
What's the intent, to take down that fence altogether and put up?
Portions thereof, yeah, so, and so maybe I need to kind of form,
We'll see what you need first and then see who you have to go to.
yeah, and I'd probably go to the other fence viewer, Jim, no offense, I feel like you may be conflicted.
No, that's a different kind of problem. Some things we can't fix.
This'll,
Do
again,
they own the fence or do we?
this is the problem.
Half and half.
The corners are on each person's, one corner is on, say, the commission's property, the other corner is on
So
the
do we need
private
a-
property.
do we need an attorney to tell us who?
I think a fence viewer, this
Yeah.
this screams a fence viewer, kind of a
Let's see
dispute.
if we can do it simply.
Well,
Right.
but one of the things also was, okay, so when this write-up was from when Matt's here and I were out there to basically look at the bounds, and one of the ideas that we had tossed around is the fence is really compromised on 2 sides of 9 Pond Street. And it's kind of like one end is on their property, the other post end is on ours. It's like, well, why don't we collaborate with them and have the fencing that's compromised by the trees just cut out to the extent possible, and then put our own chain link fence on our property, so both ends are on our property, it's totally under our control, If they want to put up privacy fencing, they can do it on their side of the fence. You know, and that was
That's a
kind
good
of
idea, so
where
they
we
don't
were
control.
thinking,
That's the way it should happen anyway.
Right,
Those
yeah.
Fences should be completely on the owner's property.
Right.
Whoever put the fence in should be on their own property,
Yeah.
not on the
Exactly.
line, but on their own property, so that they can get to the other side to do repairs if needed.
yeah,
I would force that too.
yeah. So,
Okay.
Okay,
a
so
good
that's,
solution.
I can kind of
and
make,
some of this is also then finding a fencing contractor that we can get an estimate to understand
The
what the
dynamics.
work would be involved, so that we can start to have the conversation with the abutter, the fence viewer, put together a plan of next steps.
Next.
Next. Okay.
yes ma'am. I don't have an update on the Summer Village CR amendment. I need to follow up with their attorney. I don't have an update. I have not received or heard an update from the consultant performing the sampling, although they've provided a schedule, and maybe one has occurred. I forget.
No, I think they're doing it Friday.
I don't
Well,
know.
they said the 25th.
It could have been.
Yeah, you were thinking about other,
It's beginning of the week, end of the week. They're doing it in proximate, baseline.
they've given us a date,
result, yes.
and it sounds reasonable.
Yes.
Good.
And make sure they meet them. If they don't meet the dates, it's.
Yeah, no,
No, it's not gonna do us much good.
Yeah, no, they're on top of things.
Have you heard from the railroad department?
Railroad. So in terms of the CR 28 for the Jarvis Hill Estates, I looked at it this afternoon or right before the meeting and realized that I replied to myself and I never sent it to. Great technology. I'm like, sent to self. I'm like, oh, no wonder I haven't heard. That explains a lot. So I hope to have an update for the commission's next meeting. Minutes, I wanted to include some stuff in the minutes, so they weren't provided. They'll be included in the commission's next
You're
meeting.
only
packet.
one person.
There was one other topic included in the discussion section of our meeting packet electronically. I think it came out today. There was a application for a dock on Lakeshore Drive South. I don't think that should come to us unless that's just an
So,
info copy.
yes, that's just a copy, yes.
It's in-
So
okay.
that was,
Did the action
Yes.
version go to the select board?
it went to,
I believe
I
that's
was
what it's supposed to go.
pleased, for the consultant, it's regarding 50 Lakeshore Drive South. The commission issued an order of conditions for it last year, maybe before. They filed a Chapter 91 license with the Waterways Bureau, and I can certainly send you what was, the Waterways Bureau has a much more formalized process, from the notification with which, they prepare and send to the applicant that has to then get sent to the abutters, but they also did identify everybody. The state is telling applicants who they need to notify. The commission was notified just as, again, as part of, the
And
approval.
Action E in Westford is the board, it's the select board.
Yes,
And that's-
and I think they were listed, planning board, the commission.
Good.
Yes, no, it was, I'll see if I remember tomorrow, I'll send you kind of the email, because I was happy to see, because I remember one previous Chapter 91 license where I felt like I was providing guidance to the applicant.
Where they were expecting it to come from us.
Well, right, well, no, but it was more they were looking to me to who do I mail this to? What do I do? And I'm like, it's not my process. I don't really know. Like I want to help you, but I don't know how. So seeing that the state is much more involved at this time, I was relieved and certainly appreciated.
Anything else? Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.